Hey, welcome back to the Madhouse. Well, today what we're going to talk about and look at is the KV1s, which is the Tier 6 heavy tank. And this tank is actually a bit of a personal favourite of mine. Uh, it's in the IS line, so it runs right up to the IS7 at Tier 10. Um, Pretty well renowned as a great line to follow. And I would actually recommend that anyone who's sort of starting out in the game should follow this line right through to the end because it really does teach you about heavy tanks. They are a very forgiving tank, but if you don't play them the right way, you can also find that your whole day is ruined. So you can come a cropper in it, and a lot of misconceptions, and certainly when I first started playing the game, misconception was heavy tank means it's strong. Heavy tank means, I've got the ability to just push out and take shots and I'll be right. And look, to a certain degree, you can do that and get away with some of that, but it's not really the way to go. So you can see the long reload time there, but when you pack the punch with your big derpy gun, it really gets the attention of the opposition, and you can sometimes, in some regards, with this gun, you can actually act a little bit like a tank destroyer. And just on the gun, I run the 122 millimeter, not the 85 millimeter. As you can see, you got greater shell damage, better penetration, but obviously your rate of fire drops off. So that's something to consider. But I've just found with the big gun, it does change your gameplay style. You need to be a little bit more conservative. Now, in this match, we actually have a fairly good match, to be honest. It's actually, I think, a first class. Didn't quite get the mastery, but we weren't far off. But we probably would have had the mastery if it wasn't for my frames per second. If you look down at the bottom right corner there, it's on 30 something, which is absolutely woeful. So I don't know what was going on, but when I was recording this match, it was like there was a fair bit of computer overload going on, and I was getting a lot of distortion. And that just caused that shot to bounce that KV2's turret because of the slight lag. So when you've got a little bit of lag going on like that, it does cause you a lot of grief. So coming back to the gameplay, you can see what I've done here. I'm hiding, waiting for my shell to reload. I'm not just sort of pulling out in front. I'm keeping an eye on where they all are. It's a bit of a waiting game. I'm waiting for the shell to reload. It also does another thing. It helps you reset your camo, and it gives you opportunity to take shots like that and actually get rid of something like a KV2, which can do a lot of damage. Now, at this point in time, we are in deep doggy doo-doo. We are actually down to just 3 on 4 now. They've got SU-100Y, which is a very good tank destroyer, very solid front on it. So what I'm going to use now is the speed of the KV1S in a heavy tank sense is actually quite good to get in and around behind this SU-100Y and try and put some damage in on him while he's facing my platoon mate, who in this case is Ryan, and Ryan's good. I also put a shot in and backed away straight away, which allowed me to get an auto bounce, which means that the SU-100 was trying to shoot me at the same time, but because I got in there, shot, and got out, it's okay. And what you'll find with this tank is the closer that you are, the less you need to be concerned about aiming the reticle down. Because if you've got that circle and it's completely covering the tank in front of you, chances are you're going to hit it. So the aim time is an issue with this tank, so be aware of that. And again, don't sit out in front of the tanks while you're waiting for it to aim. Try and get it aimed up a bit. You'll see, you think I do that here a little bit. Now I'm side scraping with it. And any of these tanks are brilliant side scrapers. Now, you can see what I've done. I'm angling the tank. He's got one into me. I knew that was going to happen, but I've got my hit points in reserve to do that. Now, the game's swung back in our favour because I just put that massive amount of damage in. And look at that, ammo racked the T-34 there and absolutely smashed him. And you know, that's the power of this gun. And you can see now what I'm doing is I'm using the speed of the tank to try and hunt down this leopard. And here's where my lag just absolutely messed with me. Look at that. It just caused that shot to miss the back of the leopard, which could have set him on fire, could have killed him. It could have been any one of those things. But we've got this in the bag. It's just a matter of, you know, mopping up now. And with the frames per second the way it is, oh man, it was so frustrating. And you can see Ryan's trying to give you a 5 kill here. He's onto it. He knows that this is a mastery potential, but this lag is just causing me no end of grief. Anyway, you can see what I did there. Ryan's gone one side to flush him out, and I've gone the other, and I actually cut some of the video out there because it was boring. And now we've tried to corner this guy and finish him off, and come around here. Here's one of the failings of the tank. You know, I've gone and taken a shot here, which again attract him from that close. It's not the tank's fault. It was just, again, this lag wasn't helping. That should have been the end to him. I probably should have used HE as well. That would have finished him too. But it was just frustrating. But look, nevertheless, we get the win. Look at this one. I was that close to getting that in the end, but he didn't want to let him get away, so he did the right thing. We both ended up with really good scores. It was a platoon carry, and you know, you ended up with a first class, and we did really good damage. 2100 damage from a tier 6 is incredible. Now in this match here, it's a solo match. So what that means is I'm not platooning with anyone. It's just me and the KV1s and some randoms who I don't know. And it's a supremacy game. So obviously I've pushed up here on the left because I feel that C is still very important here, and a lot of people go A and B, which puts you down in amongst the city. And it's okay, you've got cover down there. But what happens, I find, is that if you let the mediums take C, they can swarm down and actually flank you from either side while you're trapped in the city there. And they've also got the cap up there too, and it just means that, you know, teams aren't organised enough to make that happen. Got an unfortunate track shot there on that KV1s. You know, we don't have obviously an accurate gun. It's Russian, it's big, it does a lot of damage, but it can still miss on the odd occasion. Again, you've got to let that thing actually aim right down. So this AMX got one in on me, but I got one back in on him, and you can see we're trading blows similar to each other with a tank destroyer. Now, I let him hit me because, one, I wanted to put the shot in, and two, I figured that he had a chance of bouncing from my turret. So it was a bit of a gamble, it was a bit of a risk, but I took that. It was calculated. Again, that KV1s had a shot at me, missed, and I was able to get one into him. What we're looking at to do now is we're looking to try and inflict damage. And that's what you're going to have to do with this 122mm gun. You've got to drive it a little bit like a KV2. The actual reload time is very similar. So think of it as almost like a KV2 with a big gun. You want to be able to put damage in and then get to cover. And you can see there's an SU-152 there. Very big gun, 150mm gun. He can do a lot of damage. So we don't want to get in front of his shots, and he's not focusing on us at all, which is great. So we're able to sit back here and pump damage into him where we can. The other SU's turned and looked at us, so straight away I've gone, nope, don't want to get involved there. And he's running now. He's running towards us, which is made a big mistake, but he had to because we flanked. He had to come towards us, or else he knew his side was vulnerable. And again, here we go, boom, take him out. And we've had a really successful run in this tank. And you look at my hit points, I've still got plenty in reserve. So it's one of those things, you play the game right, you play the tank right, and you're going to get a really good result with this KV1s. But don't go rushing in there, it's not going to do you any good. So in this game, we had a second class, and that was fantastic. Now, I want to show you some footage of another match. You watch this. Talk about phantom shots. How did that not hit anything? How did it not hit? If you actually focused on that and go back and look at it, absolute joke. We were fully focused. Well, not fully focused, but we were right in on the rear of that tank, and it completely missed. So there's something going on. A lot of people are actually complaining about this, where shots like that just aren't going in, and then this time here on the turret, I get a shot straight in on the turret. It doesn't make sense to me. But now it's completely ruined my day because he would have been finished. Two shots like that, I would have been pretty close to dispatching him. I could have rolled straight down in behind him and actually not taken those other shots. And instead, what it does, I come around the side here and I'm still on. There's my reload's done. I go and take another shot here. Again, that completely went nowhere. Don't know what happened to it. And you didn't even see it hit the ground. So I was not having too many lag issues here. It was just, I don't know what was going on. It was just really strange. And the KV1s has come after me, which he's done the right thing. Again, take a shot and missed. And then my game's over. So them's the breaks, unfortunately. Anyway, that's KV1s. Hopefully the video helps you a little bit to understand how to drive heavy tanks and that particular tank. Have a great day.